Senate Majority Whip Republican John Thune joins us right now. Senator, it seems like that is the inexorable direction of all of this. Do you agree?
It looks like it, Neil. I would like to think that there may be enough House Democrats in the end who decide not to support articles of impeachment, which, of course, then you wouldn't end up having a trial in the Senate. But it would appear, at least to us at this point, the Democrats are pretty bent on and have been obsessed with since he took office trying to impeach this president. And so I suspect that articles of impeachment at some point will be headed our way in the Senate, and we will then conduct our responsibilities under the Constitution.
Now, do you think it's risky, Senator, for the president not to have, Council of Legal Representatives there to express his side of things? I mean, he obviously has the support of Republicans in the committee who are going to drill witnesses who are planning to speak within the Judiciary Committee. But that was one thing he was clamoring for in the process, and now he is not going to be part of this one.
I think what's happened, Neil, is that the president has concluded that this has been a tainted process from the very beginning, and that he has been treated unfairly, mistreated, not given due process. And so I think that he and his team made a decision with respect to the House process that this wasn't going to be a fair process. My guess is, if in fact it does proceed to the Senate, that at that time he will choose to have the council represent him, and there will be arguments made on both sides, which we will have an opportunity to hear. But you can understand the frustration that he has with how this has been conducted in the House. It has been very partisan, it has been very unfair, it has been very closed, and as a consequence of that, I think the American people have perceived this to be a partisan process, which is why the Democrats have not been able to move the needle at all when it comes to public opinion about this. And furthermore, I would argue, and I think it may be true in the end, that they may be losing ground in the House. I think there may be other Democrats who decide that they don't want to go down this path in the end.
Do you think, Senator, switching gears a little bit on this China stuff and the president saying that he doesn't think that a deal could be scored before the presidential election next year, that he means that, or that's a negotiating tactic?
I would, well, maybe the latter. This president has a different style of negotiating, but I would hope at least that they could move forward with at least phase one, which is what they've talked about doing. And of course, as you know, we've been trying up here to get the Canada-Mexico trade agreement done forever. The president signed that over a year ago, and the Democrats in the House have yet to take it up. That would be a huge step forward.
But what if we don't get that? Do you worry that we don't? Forget the Mexico thing, and you're right, that's on thin ice itself. But if this doesn't happen for another year or more?
Yeah, I would hope that wouldn't be the case. I think there are structural issues. China plays a long game. You're probably not going to get them to the table on theft of intellectual property or forced technology transfers or currency manipulation or issues like that right away. But you could get, as he has indicated with a phase one deal, a commitment from China to buy significant amounts of American agricultural products. That, in my part of the world, would be a huge breakthrough. And I would hope at least that the discussions that they're having right now would lead to that kind of an outcome, that kind of a result in the near term, while we continue to work on those structural issues that need to be addressed in the long term.
The president says he doesn't watch the markets. What do you think of that?
Well, I think the president's pretty aware of what's going on all the time in the markets. And if you look at unemployment, if you look at the number of jobs that are continuing to be created versus the number of people looking for work, and you look at the wages which continue to go up, the economy is strong overall. We're not seeing some of that obviously out in foreign country because of the, as I mentioned earlier, some of the commodity price problems that we had for a long time. But the economy's in a good place. We need to continue that momentum, and I think trade deals help do that.
That's like me saying I don't look at the calorie count in food. Well, actually, Senator, I don't look at the calorie count in food. Anyway, very good seeing you, all right? Be well, my friend.
You too. Thanks, Neil.
John Thune.